That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks, to a Players Who Must and Will Step Up this spring edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, you can find this program on YouTube. Do subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd appreciate that. Also, give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate that as well. Twitter, search bar Always Irish, or at Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want me. You can get me. Call and shout 312-900-8815. Always Irish Radio. So, with spring ball coming right around the corner, actually, how perfect is it? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I read that the first spring practice is actually going to be on St. Patrick's Day. How appropriate. I love everything about it, okay? So, with that in mind, recently, we've spent a lot of time on this program talking about philosophical, existential changes within the program as we're transitioning eras from the Collie into the Freeman. Now I want to get more specific about some practical things, all right? Now, a couple of notes as we get into this discussion about players Notre Dame needs to step up this spring and why. Here's number one. How do I want to put this? While there is risk and some uncertainty with the large volume of turnover that's occurred within the Notre Dame staff, one thing that I think is a positive with that is it is largely a clean slate this spring for most of these players. There is no, I know I'm Kelly's guy, I could dog it a little bit, I'm going to get my snaps. On the flip side, there is no, I know I'm in Kelly's doghouse, no matter what I do, I'm not going to see snaps. That's all over. So I like the idea that there is largely, for the most part, a clean slate here for competition and for guys to try and claim their snaps starting this spring. I think this environment raises the level of competition this spring naturally. Who wants to play? A lot of these coaches have never seen these guys in person play before. Go out there and impress Al Golden and earn yourself some snaps you wouldn't have gotten under Kelly. So I like that vibe. It's a clean slate. There's no decisions made. You could go ahead and earn your time. Raises the competition level, and I love it. Here's the other thing. As we get into this discussion, 2022 is very much a transitional year as Freeman and his staff gets all settled in. For it to be a successful year, I think you're going to need your stars to be stars. Your guys you know are good. You need them to continue to be good and get better. Look at Michael Mayer, a guy like that, a known commodity. You know he's a dog. You know he's a baller. You know he's a killer. You know what you're going to get. You don't have to worry about that. You just hope you get more of that greatness this year statistically than you did before. But where I think you get over the hump is when guys you weren't counting on now end up contributing in a way in the fall where you go, wow, I did not see that coming. Look at how this guy exploded on the scene. That's where I think we need to get this year for 2022. Now, as the Freeman era moves along down the years, this is going to be this particular angle is going to be less and less involved because I think the talent level is going to rise. And then you're going to have more of that high-end talent, less wild cards. And then those are extra bonuses. But for this tight 2022 window to be a, quote, success, we're going to need a lot of guys in a lot of these position groups to step up that we weren't expecting until Freeman's recruiting can cover up some of these things and it's more of a high-level blanket of talent, all right? So, that being said, let's look at some guys that I think we need to and that will step up this spring. Offensively, this is not meant to be a cop-out. I need Buckner and Pine to both step up. This is not, I know what people are going to say. John, you know, you're rolling your eyes. How can that be? But hear me out. Hear me out. I think everybody kind of agrees, barring something with health, Tyler Buckner's probably going to be the starter. I think personally he has more high-end elite level potential and athletic ability than Drew Pine does. So I think that's the way this is going to go. But here's the thing. The strength of Buckner's game that we've all seen has been with his legs. Him using his legs that much means at some point next year, there may be a point where he gets banged up and misses some amount of time. I don't know whether it's a series, a play, a week, or a month. But when your quarterback's the size Buckner is and he uses his legs a lot, you got to have a guy behind him that's one snap away, ready to come in and at least get you by so you could still win your ball games. So I need both of these guys to step it up so that we all have more of a comfort level with what we're going to run out there at the quarterback position. So I know that's a cheap thing to say, but it's the absolute truth. And I wouldn't be saying it if Buckner was more of a passing guy, but he uses his legs so much, I think this is important. So here's the other thing I do like about this particular dynamic this year at quarterback. What I like is at least Pine and Buckner have similar skill sets. I think a part of the struggle and frustration last year with us all saying, why didn't we see more of Buckner or more Buckner packages? I think the staff was in a really tricky spot because Cone and Buckner's skill sets were complete opposites. Total opposites. So you couldn't be in practice running your stuff and have it work for both guys. So that was a very tricky dynamic to navigate. And I think some of those issues with scheme and them having to be totally opposite for each guy is one of the reasons we didn't see more of Buckner last year. So Pine and Buckner having more similar skill sets is going to help with this. The other thing is, if the other players see that the quarterbacks are exciting in the spring, that is the tide that rises all offensive ships. If these guys come out there and they're excited and they're exciting and they're making plays, I just think that will rise kind of the morale of everybody to see that you got some exciting stuff going on at the most important position in the entire sport at any level you want to talk about. So that's what I need out of those guys. It's a big deal. Now, down the road, you get Dante Moore, maybe then this will all change. But I'm just talking about what we know we have next year. If you got a guy that comes in the next year that can play right away is better than these guys, God bless you, love it, then you have a great backup, right? So for now, that's how I see this. But I think the entire operation with the quarterback is going to get easier because of those similar overlapping skill sets. Now, at running back, here's what I'm going to need. I need a bona fide lead dog between Diggs and Estime to emerge. I think Tyree's too small for that. Price is a freshman. Okay, so I need one of those guys to emerge and be the lead guy. I think that's kind of important to have one of those. But then I need the rest of these guys to find their different but critical roles. I like this group, and I think if used correctly, their varied skill sets can cause major problems for these defenses. This position group is one of the ones I'm most excited about because I see multiple dynamic players with varying skill sets. Unlike at the quarterback position, I like the fact that we have this group of running backs that all offer something a little different. So I would like a lead dog to emerge, probably between Diggs and Estime. Tyree, get bigger, get stronger, find more ways to use him in the passing game, whatever you got to do. Price is a freshman. Might surprise people. I don't know with the other guys ahead of him how much action he'll get. All right? Now, wide receiver. Obviously, we know this is presently a weak area of the roster. There's no way around it. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It is what it is. It's not close to good enough right now. Colsey, it's your time. I need you to bust out like Styles did. We need that from him. He's got some experience now. Okay, Styles busted out. Now it's his turn. I need to see that. Now, here's the next one, and this hurts me. And I take crap from this from certain people, and it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Lindsey. I keep waiting and waiting these years. I watch my hairline recede and fall out of my dome. I keep waiting for Braden Lindsey to be a real, reliable weapon threat week in and week out. We've seen glimpses of it. We've seen the end around against USC, and we've seen this and that here and there. A lot of injuries, a lot of inconsistency, all that. You can't. This is all so tough because I'm frustrated with the overall output we've seen from Braden Lindsey's career, and I look at his speed when he's healthy, and I just see so much more meat left on the bone that we haven't seen. And it breeds this frustration in me because I feel like that's a guy you could get so much more out of. Take tops off defenses. Even if the passes aren't complete, throw a couple back there and make teams have to worry about it and back those safeties up, whatever. So it's frustrating, his overall production so far. At the same time, if a guy's injured, I can't blame him for not trying hard enough or doing the things you need to do. If a guy's injured, a guy's injured. This needs to be the year. I think he's a fifth-year guy. He needs to be a weapon with that speed that is dangerous to defenses, that they need to know where he is at all times. I got to see that now. I've been pining for this guy for a couple years, and it just hasn't panned out to where he could be that weapon I need him to be. He's got a great opportunity here in a position group of need. He's an older guy in the program. Maybe this could be the year that week in, week out, we see some big-time plays for him that defenses have to worry about. I'm looking for it. I'm hoping for it. It'd be good for him. I hope we see it this year. But it's been really, really frustrating wanting to count on him to produce, and it just hasn't happened for various reasons. Now's got to be the time. Can a guy like Merriweather play right away? You got a chance to. Look at that wide receiver room. I got a chance to play right away if I was over there right now. That should be encouraging to any of these younger guys or guys that haven't played. If you make plays in the spring, you should get to make plays in the fall against Ohio State week 1. Can a guy like that play that fast? I got my doubts if it was Brian Kelly. Can he impress enough in August that they trust him against Ohio State? I don't know. We're going to have to see what that philosophical thought process is like for Marcus Freeman regarding those young guys at those skill positions where there's a lot on the line. I don't know, but if I'm a younger wide receiver in this program, I love my opportunity right now. If you make plays, you should be able to make plays, if that makes sense. Make plays in the spring, make plays in August, make plays in September. Somebody step up out of that group among the young guys. Tight end, I need a strong number 2 to emerge to free up Michael Mayer to do more damage. Barong's injured, Bauman or Evans, I need a strong number 2. And the stronger the number 2 is, the more it opens up number 1. That's how I see it. So whether it's being good at blocking or another guy that can go out and catch balls, whatever. But when you have this ace as your number 1 tight end, anything else you could do to draw some attention away from him to free him up more is great. So Barong's injured. That's rough. But Bauman Evans, we need a strong number 2. And we need somebody else It can't just all be Mayer. I need somebody else to divert some of that tight end attention, okay? Offensive line, here's the deal. I actually feel pretty good about the offensive line once Patterson gets healthy. Everybody knows I think, tore a pec lifting. Should be back for the fall, they said, so that is a minor setback at least. He's a very experienced guy, so it's not like he's missing a lot of developmental time. He knows what he's doing. So I expect fully that this group is going to be much better week one out of the gates than what we saw last year. You're not going to see that again. With Harry and this group, if they're healthy, put together, I think you're going to see a much more efficient group early. So what that means is I need to see some strong backups here. Your offensive line, I got to see some good backups. So if a guy gets banged up, another guy can move right in. You don't see that much of a drop-off. Spindler, Corral, Carmody, Baker. The better those guys are, the better the entire group will be in theory and practicality. So I'm looking for all those guys to be able to, when called on, step in there, do their job. We don't see a bunch of drop-off, okay? But I feel great. I feel excellently confident in saying this group's going to be a lot better week one than anything we saw last year. And I like that even against Ohio State, I expect that. I expect that group to be mean and have something to prove right away week one. Now, on to the other side of the ball. At D-end, I need Riley Mills to step it up, and I need Nana as well to step it up. Okay, free Foskey up to let him cause more problems. A lot of my angles when I look at this stuff comes down to where do we have our most elite talent and what else can we do to support it? Meaning giving defenses more to worry about, giving offenses more to worry about. You can't just double this guy because then that guy's going to get you. Finding as many of those one-on-one matchups as we can. So the better these other guys are, the more it'll free up Foskey to be an animal and destroy people and do all that. That's how I look at it. Okay, take some snaps away from him. Let him rest up, crank it up, all of that. So I'm looking for a guy like Riley Mills to show up this year, do some big things. At nose, Jacob Lacy. That's another guy on my brain, other people's brain. Jacob Lacy, it's your time to break out. And we need him to at that nose position. That's the guy I'm looking at. D-tackle Howard Cross. Time to claim some snaps, make some big plays. That's another guy who's in a position to have an impact this year. Linebackers. Marist Liufau is back. Welcome back. Missed sorely all last year. Here's the thing. It was bad. The timing of that injury for Marist, he missed the entire year, and then the season gets going, and it's easy to be like out of sight, out of mind. You didn't see him at all last year because he got injured before the first game even. So you didn't see him, both practically on the field and his leadership. Welcome back, Marist Liufau. Not only is he physically going to be the leader of that defense, but I think emotionally he's going to claim leadership of that group, and I like that dynamic. I like that dynamic. Prince Collie, another guy I have my eye on. It's your time to break out. Make some plays. Botello, Rover Botello, he's a killer hitter, and I want to see more of it. Every time he lays wood on somebody, the guy leaves in a casket. I want to see more of it. It's your time, Jordan Botello. It's your time. Knock some people out. What could Jalen Sneed offer early in his career? I want to know. Again, we don't know Marcus Freeman's philosophy or apprehension or willingness to play some of these super young guys. We don't know. We don't know his willingness to do that or his apprehension or how he's going to gauge who's ready to do that and how much and what situations. That's all a part of the calibration Marcus has to make early on here. What can a kid this athletic offer this early in his career, if anything? I don't know. Safety. Brandon Joseph's a godsend via the grad transfer portal. Seriously, it's a godsend. You're losing Hamilton. You bring this guy in that everybody's saying is probably going to be the best safety this year. That's amazing. Great job making that work. Good thing it was Northwestern. It all kind of lines up. Academically minded kid. That lane, it all worked out. That's beautiful. Love it. Love it. Who else can step up, though? I always run into this with this Notre Dame secondary. Here's what happens. You get a guy like Kyle Hamilton. You get a guy like Julian Love, and we all, Notre Dame people love those guys, and why wouldn't you? The issue is we've only had one of each of them. I need 2 Kyle Hamiltons out there, and I need 2 or 3 Julian Loves to make me happy in the secondary. Total no-fly zone. Just like President Zelensky's asking for. No-fly zone. That's what I need. A no-fly zone back there. It just can't be one Julian Love. The field's bigger than that. I need more than one. John, you're asking for a lot. You're damn right I am, because that's what it takes to win a championship. No-fly zone. NATO style. Okay? Henderson, Griffith, Watts. Who wants it? Who's going to make plays the most consistently? Whoever shows the willingness to be around that damn ball the most, give them the most snaps. Okay? That's simple. Corner, can Chance Tucker push? Hart and Bracy? What about Barnes or Riley and Lewis? This is last on my sheet because I'm getting real nervous. I'm getting nervous. I just don't have, I don't mean any disrespect to these guys, but I just don't feel that comfortable and confident when I see all these names. There's just a lot of flashes but inconsistency. Flashes but inconsistency. It's okay for a while, then it's terrible for a while. Guess what? You don't have any leeway against Ohio State. They're going to put 50 points on you if your secondary can't cover. Week 1, they'll hang 50 on you if you can't defend the pass. So this group needs to figure it out. Corners and safety, that old secondary. I don't care how old you are, how many years you've been around. I don't care about any of that. Whoever is around the ball aggressively making plays this spring and summer needs to be out there against Ohio State. I don't care the names. I don't care how many years they have of experience. I don't care. Give me the guys that are making the plays. So I would like to see Chance Tucker make some moves. But I don't know if he's there. I just don't know. No, I don't know where he stacks up. But sometimes I see Bracy out there and I'm like, oh, what else you got? Lewis had some really good times and some really bad times. So I'm all for any and all competition in this secondary. Let Brandon Joseph be your captain back there. Young athletic guys, I don't care. Give me the people that are on the ball. But this is a big ask going into Ohio State week 1 with the secondary questions I have. They're going to be aggressive. They're not afraid to open it up and throw it around. You can't be getting burned. So that is like one of the main positions I'm obsessed with, seeing how this is going to shape out. So overall, that's what I got for this discussion. I think there are a lot of positions here where I feel pretty confident where we're at. There are many I have questions about. At the same time, you just don't know what you're going to get till you get it. And it's a whole new era. Maybe things are different. Maybe guys flash differently now. Maybe they just develop a little quicker because things are differently. I don't know. Maybe there's a more, like I mentioned when we opened this discussion, maybe the idea that it's more of a clean slate, open competition for snaps really does raise the level of play of everybody, and they're all competing against themselves. looking like dogs out there. Maybe that happens. So I would like to know what you guys think. Who am I missing that we need to talk about? I'm sure there's more freshmen that maybe could get in the mix, maybe not. I don't know. Some of them won't be here till fall, so I didn't include them in the spring. I don't know if it's fair to include all those freshmen, especially if they're not even on campus yet, in a discussion about who's going to play against Ohio State. That seems a little early. But these are some of the guys I think that we need to see bust out to rise that tide of the entire program, provide depth, provide competition, provide the ability to give a guy a breather, and there's no drop-off on the field. That's where we want to get. It's going to be critical for this 2022 transitional era year that some of these guys step up. And I do think we're going to see that. Have a good one.